If you're here, I'm guessing you're in a world of hurt. You know how it is. A song comes on the radio, you catch a certain smell, you scroll past an old photo, and boom, you're right back at square one thinking, I should be over this by now. Well, let's talk about why that happens and, more importantly, how you can actually start to heal.
First things first, okay? If you feel stuck, if you feel lost, if you feel like a piece of you is just gone, I need you to hear this. You are not alone, not even close. What you're going through is one of the most universal human experiences there is. And this is so important. That gut-wrenching pain, the thoughts you can't turn off, that physical ache in your chest, that is not a sign that you're weak. It's not you failing at something. It's your biology. It's your brain's wiring doing exactly what it's designed to do.
So, in this explainer, we're not going to treat this like some problem you need to fix. We're going to see it as a process we can understand. Think of this as your roadmap, a way to get from this place of pain to a new place of purpose. So to start, we've got to look under the hood. We have to understand what is actually going on. Why does it feel so completely impossible to just let it go? Well, the answers are pretty deep, rooted in our biology and in our very sense of who we are. Now, this is a big one. You think you miss the simple things, right? The good morning texts, the inside jokes, the date nights. But what's really going on, what you're actually grieving, is so much deeper. It's the feeling of being chosen, the feeling of being truly seen by someone, and maybe the biggest of all, the hope for a future you built together that's just gone. And really, it all boils down to two huge reasons you feel so stuck. First, it's literally chemical. Your brain got hooked on a cocktail of feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin every time you were with them. Now it's in withdrawal, just like with any other addiction. And second, it's about your identity. You weren't just you anymore. You were part of an us. And when that us disappears, it can feel like you've lost a huge chunk of yourself. Okay, so knowing the why is step one, but step two is just as crucial. We have to start dismantling the myths. Those stories we tell ourselves that sound like they'll help, but are actually keeping us stuck right where we are. Oh man, this is the big one, isn't it? Everybody says it. Just give it time. The idea that if you just wait patiently, the pain will magically fade away. But honestly, that's one of the worst pieces of advice out there. Because here's the deal. Time is just an empty container. It doesn't do anything on its own. It's what you fill that time with that counts. If you spend it endlessly scrolling their Instagram or replaying old arguments, you're not healing. You're just reopening the wound over and over again. Healing is active. It's a choice.
The myth of closure. We get obsessed with this idea, don't we? That if we could just have one last conversation, if they could just explain why, then we could finally move on. We put all our hope into this one magical conversation.
But here's the tough love. Closure isn't something they can give you. It's something you have to give yourself. Real closure is you deciding that your peace of mind is more important than getting an answer that might not even exist, or an answer you wouldn't like anyway. It really is an inside job. Now this one is all about guilt. It's that little voice in your head that whispers, if you start feeling happy again, does that mean it wasn't real? Does that mean you didn't really love them? It feels like letting go is a betrayal. But I love this way of thinking about it. A relationship can be incredibly real and important for a season of your life. Moving on doesn't erase that. It just means that season is over, and you've learned the lesson it was there to teach you. You're graduating, not betraying. And this might be the most dangerous myth of all, the reunion fantasy. You play the movie in your head where they show up at your door, everything's forgiven, and this time it will be perfect. You only remember the good stuff. But let's be real. You broke up for a reason. And unless those core reasons have fundamentally changed in both of you, then getting back together is just signing up for heartbreak part 2. Hope is a beautiful thing, but hope without real, actual change is just setting yourself up for the same pain all over again. All right, we've talked about the science, we've busted the myths. Now for the good part. Let's talk about what to actually do. This is where we stop just understanding the pain and start building our way out of it. This question right here is your new starting point. I mean it. Get out a journal, open a note on your phone, whatever. A breakup is not a verdict on your worth. It doesn't mean you're unlovable. It's just powerful, powerful feedback about what you truly need from a partner.
And that question leads us to this 4-step game plan. 1. Figure out the feeling you miss, being seen, feeling safe, not the person. 2. Build a new routine for yourself, new morning rituals, new weeknight plans, things that are just for you. 3. You gotta starve the fantasy. Yep, I'm talking about the block button. No more checking their socials. And 4. Actively start giving yourself the validation and care you were getting from them.
Okay, now we get to my favorite part. This is where the real transformation happens. Because this whole process isn't just about surviving a breakup, it's about using this pain as rocket fuel to build a version of yourself that is stronger than ever.
Have you ever heard of the Japanese art of kintsugi? It's this beautiful idea where, when a piece of pottery breaks, they don't throw it away. They meticulously put it back together, and they fill the cracks with pure gold. The cracks become the most beautiful part of the object. And that is the perfect metaphor for what you're doing right now. This heartbreak doesn't have to be some ugly scar you try to hide. By healing intentionally, you can fill those cracks with the gold of self-knowledge and strength and wisdom. You'll become more beautiful not in spite of being broken, but because of it.
So we have to change the question that's been running on a loop in our brains, right? For weeks, maybe months, it's been this one.
But we're going to replace it. We're going to ask this instead. Am I proud of who I'm becoming? See how that just flips the script? It takes all the power back from them and puts it right back where it belongs, with you. It makes your healing your own personal victory.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. This isn't about erasing them or pretending that chapter never happened. It can't be. It's about turning the page and finally remembering who you are without them. It's about coming home to yourself.